came to follow me here from TikTok and Instagram. We are going to get into the very first portion of Comrade Vladimir Lenin's State and Revolution. Okay? Class, society, and the state. The state, a product of the irreconcilability of class antagonisms. What is happening now to Marxist theory has in the course of history happened repeatedly to the theories of revolutionary thinkers and leaders of the oppressed classes fighting for emancipation. During the lifetime of great revolutionaries, the oppressing classes constantly hounded them, received their theories with the most savage malice, the most furious hatred, and the most unscrupulous campaigns of lies and slander. So, bro, people been going through this forever. You know, it's almost sort of kind of like naive in a way to complain about the ops. You know, that is what it is. That is the class struggle. The class struggle is quite literally fighting these people that uphold the state, that uphold U.S. imperialism, that uphold empire, that uphold these hierarchies, this class system, right? So to complain about it or be mad or whatever is just can kind of come off as like you don't know what you're doing. You know, you don't know what this is about. You haven't zoomed out and looked at the broader, you know, spectrum of the struggle. It's not supposed to be easy. Now, it should be easy. It can be easy, simple, you know, understandable. But where we are in this point of time in history, no matter what you believe in, you know, this is where we are. This is what it is. This is the struggle. What's up, Misha, Sally? Okay, sorry. Okay, after their deaths, attempts are made to convert them into harmless icons, to canonize them, so to say, and to hallow their names to a certain extent for the consolation of the oppressed classes with the object of duping the latter, while at the same time robbing the revolutionary theory of its substance, blunting its revolutionary edge, and vulgarizing it. So we see this today. We see this with the term leftism. I was just talking to a comrade about this. Telling people you're a leftist, you know, isn't really, you know, we see how they co-opt and hijack our fucking terms. To me, my opinion is the term leftist is an American term. You don't see people around the globe calling themselves leftists. No, they simply state, you know, I am a Marxist, I am a communist, I am a conservative, I am whatever. None of this leftist bullshit. And you hear Democrats refer to themselves as the left. So the term leftist, we got to be done with that. Like, I feel like I'm still very new to like everything. And even I learned that during COVID, that we have to abandon that term. It doesn't mean shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything, especially when you have Democrats co-opting it and like, oh, I'm a leftist. No, you guys hold open the fucking loot bag for your buddy, the fucking Republicans, to come throw it in the fucking bag. You're not anti-capitalist at all. And that is where the left begins. Jesus Christ, you know, I can't believe, I felt like I was late learning that shit. And that was 6 years ago. The people that are still peddling that shit, bro, that should be your sign right there. Either be patient with them, deal with them, educate them, or know that they are taking a stubborn, hard stance on being willfully ignorant. All right, let me keep reading. Today, the bourgeoisie and the opportunists within the labor movement concur in this doctoring of Marxism. They omit, obscure, or distort the revolutionary side of this theory, its revolutionary soul. They push to the foreground and extol what is or seems acceptable to the bourgeoisie. All the social chauvinists are now Marxists. Don't laugh. He literally put that in parentheses. Yeah, because they be taking the term Marxist and want to reform it and shit. Lenin's like, no, bro, we're not doing this. We're learning from Russia, from France, from everywhere before. sorry. And more frequently, German bourgeois scholars, only yesterday specialists in the annihilation of Marxism, are speaking of the national German Marx, who they claim educated the labor unions, which are so splendidly organized for the purpose of waging a predatory war. In these circumstances, in view of the unprecedentedly widespread distortion of Marxism, our prime task is to re-establish what Marx really taught on the subject of the state. This will necessitate a number of long quotations from the works of Marx and Engels themselves. Of course, long quotations will render the text cumbersome and not help at all to make it popular reading, but we cannot possibly dispense with them. All, or at any rate, all the most essential passages in the works of Marx and Engels and the subject of the state must by all means be quoted as fully as possible so that the reader may form an independent opinion of the totality of the views of the founders of scientific socialism and of the evolution of those views, and so that their distortion by the Trotskyism now prevailing may be documentarily proved and clearly demonstrated. What's up, Lily Smith? Yeah, yo, yes, I am reading, yes. What's up, Selena David? What's up, Manuel Rosario? That's right. Does it work? Does it tap the screen? I don't get it. This is only like my third live on YouTube. I'm still learning all the little things, but tap the screen, like it, share it. I don't know. Is it like TikTok? Okay. What do I want to pick up at? Okay. Summing up his historical analyses, Engels says, quote, "The state is, therefore, by no means a power force on society from without. Just as little is it the reality of the ethical idea, the image and reality of reason, as Hegel maintains. Rather, it is a product of society at a certain stage of development. It is the admission that this society has become entangled in an insoluble contradiction within itself, that it has split into irreconcilable antagonisms which it is powerless to dispel. But in order that these antagonisms, these classes with conflicting economic interests, might not consume themselves in society in fruitless struggle, it became necessary to have power, seemingly standing above society, that would alleviate the conflict and keep it within the bounds of order. And this power arisen out of society, but placing itself above it, the alienating itself more and more from it, is the state." Beautiful, beautiful proletarian poetry. This expresses with perfect clarity the basic idea of Marxism with regard to the historical role and the meaning of the state. The state is a product and a manifestation of the irreconcilability of class antagonisms. I've literally just started reading this and they've said it 3 times, yet people still want to vulgarize it. You know what I mean? They still want to seemingly like willingly misinterpret what Lenin was all about. You know, that's why you got to watch out for these, as I quote Lord Treasy, you got to watch out for these feds. They be counterfeit. You know, the CIA has a whole fucking division of people that study Marxism so that they can be more savvy and like, you know, have like their meme department like try to bash Marxism. Dude, if it doesn't work and it's so fucking bad, why y'all spend all this time and money trying to tear it down? Ooh, you know what I mean? What's up, Rathbone? Okay, let's see. Oh, this expresses with perfect clarity that the basic idea of Marxism with regard to the historical role and the meaning of the state is a product and a manifestation of the irreconcilability of class antagonisms. The state arises where and when insofar as class antagonism objectively cannot be reconciled. And conversely, the existence of the state proves that the class antagonisms are irreconcilable. It is on this most important and fundamental point that the distortion of Marxism proceeding along two main lines began. All right, are y'all still with me? On the one hand, the bourgeois, particularly the petty bourgeois ideologists, compelled under the weight of indisputable historical facts to admit that the state only exists where there are class antagonisms and a class struggle, correct Marx in such a way as to make it appear that the state is an organ for the reconciliation of classes. According to Marx, the state could neither have a reason nor maintain itself had it been possible to reconcile classes. Yeah, if we could reform shit, it would have happened, bro. This doesn't work. We've seen it all throughout history. This is not some grand fucking idea. You know, it's like the people that are still talking to you about midterms, fuck them. Dude, unless they're 12. Literally. We can only spend so much time, money, and resources educating people. Like, if you're not on the level, you're not on the level. Clearly, being on the outside and not with the people benefits your fucking ass. So stay the fuck over there then. Because what we want, what we advocate for, benefits everybody, even them. So if they're going to be fervently against something that is for the world, quite literally, fuck them. We don't need them. Why? I'm not organizing with people that want to see me dead, that don't give a fuck that someone's visa barely expires, so that's their punishment, to die in imprisonment. Bro, fuck out of here. This is majority of people, sadly. So either they're dumb, they're willingly dumb, or they're just intellectually lazy, or they're just completely brainwashed and misled, because it really... And I hate to talk myself down, but I feel like I fucking have to put in perspective for people. If somebody like me can get it, bro, come on. That's how you know. That's how you know it's willful, like, negligence, like, ignorance. Like, you're not even trying to be smart. You're not even trying to get it. You're not even trying to do your little part in making the world a better place. Fuck you then, you know? Okay, sorry. I hate when I go off on rants, because then I'm like, where was I? All right, this is where I think I left off. For instance, when in the Revolution of 1917, the question of the significance and the role of the state arose in all its magnitude as a practical question, demanding immediate action, and moreover, action on a mass scale. All the social revolutionaries and Mensheviks descended at once to the petty bourgeois theory that the state reconciles classes. Innumerable resolutions and articles by politicians of both these parties are thoroughly saturated with these petty bourgeois and Philistine reconciliation theory. That the state is an organ of the rule of a definite class which cannot be reconciled with the class opposite to it is something the petty bourgeois Democrats will never be able to understand. Their attitude to the state is one of the most striking manifestations of the fact that our socialist revolutionaries and Mensheviks are not socialists at all, a point that we Bolsheviks have always maintained, but petty bourgeois Democrats using near socialist phraseology. On the other hand, the Kautskyite distortion of Marxism is far more subtle. Theoretically, it is not denied that the state is an organ of class rule or that class antagonisms are irreconcilable, but what is overlooked or glossed over is this. If the state is the product of irreconcilability of class antagonisms, if it is a power standing above society and alienating itself more and more from it, it is clear that the liberation of the oppressed class is impossible, not only without a revolution, but also without the destruction of the apparatus of state power, which is created by the ruling class, and which is the embodiment of this alienation. As we shall see later, Marx very explicitly drew this theoretically self-evident conclusion on the strength of a concrete historical analysis of the task of the revolution. And as we shall show in detail further on, it is this conclusion which Kautsky has forgotten and distorted. Okay, y'all. That's all I'm going to do today. If there was like 50 more of you in here, I'd probably keep going. But yes, soft warm up. We're defrosting from winter. We're back from spring break, or maybe we're on spring break. We're going to read. My goal is to go through all of these with y'all, like, I don't know, in 2 weeks. This is plenty. This will give you time to go get the book. It'll give you time to catch up with me. Today is Wednesday. Yeah, I'll probably go live tomorrow and Thursday, not the weekend. So we'll have 2 more times this week. Highly encourage everyone to run out and grab this book. We already covered what is to be done, so I think this would be the second step. And I just love the way Lennon writes. It's funny, I did a photo shoot with this book without even reading it. I was so LARPing. I was so like, but I don't know. I think it's funny because I look back at that photo shoot and I did not, I mean, I knew, but I didn't read it. I never read it. So anyways, don't be like me. Let's read before we have photo shoots with books. All right, I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Go and get Sane Revolution. Okay, bye.